what do you talk in golden aura?
When I talk about money, there's this portion
Yes,
where,
yes, I want to know.
yeah, so where I share about like how I look at money. I started looking at, instead of trying to remove blocks,
Mm-hmm.
I look at the relationship, like really creating a loving relationship with money and really talking to money, like the energy of money, like literal, yeah.
But what golden
Yeah, the
aura?
golden
Mm.
aura 5 day
So what do
challenge. Yeah.
you what talking
Yeah,
to
so
money?
like one of the days is my relationship with money. One part is like I look at business growth as like several parts,
Okay.
it's like first of all, yes, you want to know strategy, right? You want to
Yeah.
know strategy. And you first have the strategy, but then you have to take action,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have to
Correct.
take action. A lot of people have strategies and then they just sit on it and they don't make moves, right? And so, like, Golden Aura is about like utilizing your energetic system. Like, I really look at everything from the perspective of energy, right? Through your body, and when people come to Golden Aura, they realize that even like when we talk about fears and when we talk about, and a lot of people look at it from the perspective of, oh, I have blocks, so that's why I'm not making moves. That's why I'm not
Mm-hmm.
taking action. So I shifted a little bit for them to realize that, yes, maybe you have fears, maybe you have that, maybe you have all these things, and that's why you're not moving. But you actually have a precious tool that you can utilize to really make you move, right? And so usually, like even when we're talking about fears, and it's literally like maybe events that you may have had in the past that have kind of let an imprint on your energetic system, right? And so like by utilizing that, like for example, like in Golden Hour, I think it's day 2 or something like that, where like I teach them a particular like thing that they do with their solar plexus, and then people who have been sitting on their dreams and their goals for months and for years, and they've been wanting to take action and not taking action, then all of a sudden they come back the next day. I'm like, I just did this thing, I just posted, I just like created a video, I just did this thing that I have been sitting on for months, for weeks, I've been procrastinating on,
Mm-mm.
right? So we do have this body, we do have this energetic system that we can utilize to, right? So some people naturally they know how to take action. Naturally, some people they follow through with the like they don't even know why, but they just like propel, like they do it, right? And then some people who like me in the past, overthinking, second guessing myself, and all these things. Um, and obviously no action, no creation, right? And so like golden aura, part of it is that is it's loaded really, like we talk about the principles of marketing and how you combine that with even like energetic practice and energy and sharing your content and yeah, all the things around it, yeah.
And do you know why your clients, I mean, yeah, wants to work with you? I mean, why they are buying from you? What does they want to learn? You know that?
Yes, I can assume and
Yeah.
presume that, yeah, but from what they said to me, I think one of the major things that really like my clients say, like when they come in my space, um, they say that the major thing that happens is like they really experience a deep connection to themselves, like to their heart, to
Mm.
their soul, and they, for the longest time, believed that like they may have done like strategies in the past, for example, that made them feel like disconnected from that part of who they are, but
Mm.
like this is something that's really really super important to them. But then like when that happens and they're like, no, this is what's important to me, consciously or unconsciously, they just kind of like, maybe I don't need to take action, maybe I don't need to do this, maybe I don't need to do that. And then naturally, like some of them may have gotten into a space where maybe they stop taking action, maybe you know maybe they feel like, well, money is evil, or like the act of creating all these things, but I would say the major thing that they come to my clients usually will come to me for is the fact that they get to have know that I can make money and I can relate money to my purpose. And at the same time, uh, while doing that, it's not even the fact that I'm not disconnecting from myself, but it's actually the fact that like it really creates much deeper intimacy
Mm.
with themselves while we do this together. Yeah.
I look at you like you bring joy back inside people, you know? Like you bring the connection. I don't know how
Yeah.
to put it, but like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like maybe a connection.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah. A lot of people actually do say the word joy a lot.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You
In
bring
my,
really
yeah.
joy back to
Yeah.
heavy subject like money,
Yeah.
strategy,
Yeah.
business.
I try.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. I wanted to talk about sometimes why business are not growing. For you, strategy and money and energy are both really important.
Strategy, money,
And energy. Yeah.
action, energy,
Okay.
everything is important. Yeah.
Okay.
We do not have to detach. We don't have to separate. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what what do I have to look at to make my money and my business grow? Like, because most of the time we look at strategy, marketing, sales, action, and that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
when you go to a business consultant, he will say to
Yeah.
you, market your product,
Yes.
be visible. That's marketing.
Yes.
Like, here are your strategy, and then do it.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes. But the problem of that is that they can tell you do it, but how many people do it?
Mhm. So, yeah, so how do you explain that in your words? Like, some people are doing so great sometimes. They are really into it, but it's not working. Or when it's working, they're like, huh,
Yeah.
I don't like that. I mean,
They don't like that it's working.
yeah, they are making money, but they don't feel like successful, you know? I have a
Yeah.
client actually. She's
Yeah.
making a lot of money.
But she doesn't feel
She
successful.
wants to change her business, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Actually, for me, like that's why I talk about soul a lot in my business, okay? Because no matter what you do, if that there's that disconnect, you'll never be satisfied by anything in life.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
how do we become satisfied? What do we do?
Connect.
Yeah, okay, but explain
Yeah.
to me, how do I connect? Explain to people because people
So
will.
okay, explain to the people what to
Yeah.
connect to mean. So for me, connect to mean. So okay, first of all, I have to define what I call by soul because that can be very confusing. Right? When I say soul, that means it's almost like the source in us,
Okay.
right? The source of creation inside of us. Like we can look at it from that perspective. And so when I look at that, like that part of who we are, like I talked, like we were sharing earlier, like there's a part of me which is physical, like my body is me. You know, like I'm not my body, but it's part of me, right? And then it's like that's the physical part of me, and then I'm also kind of like an accumulation of all my experiences that I've had in life. I'm also like an accumulation of even like my parents and my grandparents, like in my DNA, all that information is inside of me, right? But there's another part of me which is really connected to the source of all creation. And that part of me was always, will never not be, right? It was always there, it will never not be, right? And it's in this physical body right now temporarily, right? Temporarily. Eventually, when I die, that soul will still continue. This is my belief. Not everybody has to believe that, but this is my personal belief. When this body, it will die one day,
Mhm.
my soul will continue, right? So my sense is that when we are in this physical life, in the physical realm, sometimes we forget. Sometimes we get so preoccupied and so busy with the daily life and the surviving also. It's like it's part of, right, that we forget that other part of who we are. We get so busy, we forget this other part. But whatever we are so busy with, like money, or again, I don't have anything wrong with money. Okay, I love money plenty. Or even like my clothing, or my shoes. I bought new shoes yesterday. Like all the things, right? One day it will not be, right? One day will not be. But this other part of me, it will continue eternally, in my opinion. Belief, okay? So, but that part of me is energy, right? And the only way I can communicate, in my humble opinion, with that part of me is through energy. And so for me, connecting to that part of me is through energy, right? Through energy, however you want to activate that energy, many people have different ways of doing it. But like for me, it's kind of like a language. It's like you can't speak English to your soul, but it's like energy. Like when you have that energy activated,
Okay, so how do you activate that
that
energy?
energy.
Yeah.
So for me, it's through my body and my energetic system, right? So like even the body is made of, like, we have an internal energy, and oftentimes I'll talk about how, like, even if we go from the perspective of the energetic system, for example, like a lot of people talk about, like, my heart. I talk to my heart, or I talk to, my heart says, or my soul says, right? Because that energy center there actually is where the energy of the soul resides, right? But at the same time, that energy center has also the energy of our emotions, right? Emotions, soul, emotion. So it's all about, like, so what's in the driver's seat at any given moment, right? Who's driving the show here?
Mm,
Who's running the show here?
okay.
Right? So is my soul running the show?
My mind or
Oh, but exactly. Like, is my soul running the show any given moment, or are my emotions, right? Like my reaction, my is that running the show? Yeah.
it made me think about sometimes, our business grow and we're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
what did I do? Because it felt so effortless. Or
Yeah.
like, wow,
Yeah.
it was in the flow.
Yes. Yeah.
So in other moments, you feel like you're
Grinding.
grinding,
Yeah.
hustling, forcing
Yeah.
even stuff, or
Yeah.
so is that like maybe my mind is in the driver's seat or my soul? What do
I
you,
actually don't think about it that
yes.
from that perspective. I look at it as, like, at any given moment I can be in the flow, and then at any given moment I can be, like, in kind of resistance, or because my own limitations are coming up, right? But the difference is, if I am connected to that soul part of me, I can look at it from the perspective, oh, I can do this. Oh yeah, this is challenging right now, but I'm capable. Like there's this force behind it, right? As opposed to, because there's this tendency of people just wanting everything to be easy all the time, and if it's not easy, then something is wrong. And I don't really look at it from that perspective. I look at it from the perspective of, yes, of course, like sometimes I want everything to flow, right? But honestly, for me, I really like challenge. It's
So
weird.
when you feel resistance, you like it?
Like, the physical part of me doesn't like it,
Mm.
right? But like a part of, like, it's weird. Like, I know it can sound really weird, but there's a part of me that feels like, alive. Oh, another challenge, right? That means what's behind, like what's after this is going to be, oh, another level of growth, right?
But maybe do you
Yeah.
maybe it's because when we feel resistance or even challenges, I think people usually don't like challenges because they think about failure. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna fail.
I'm going to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you even think about failing yourself?
I fail all the time. I even trigger failures. Like, I like to fail,
But
because
nobody like to fail.
I like to fail. That's just, like, like in the moment, it doesn't feel good, right? But I feel like for me, what I've done very well, especially the past few years, is I understand that like in failing, I learned so much.
Yeah.
Right? In failing, I learned so much. And even if I look at like after failing, when I learn, growth happens.
Mhm.
Like I don't the lady from Spanx, the lady
Yeah.
who created Spanx. Like I saw like one of like her interviews one time, and I thought it was so brilliant. She saying how like her dad when they were little kids, uh, her dad each time they came back home every day, one
Yeah.
question he asked them is, "How did you feel today?"
That's mind blowing because
Yeah, how did you feel today? Because failing means you tried something new.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
but
I wish I was taught that from
yeah,
a young age.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's why maybe she created a 1 billion
Of course,
company.
because then her brain is very creative. Her brain is like, oh yeah, if failure is no longer like a thing, it's like it's normal,
Mm.
right? Failure is actually it's just a mini failure on your way to really growth, on your way to creation.
Yeah, but why most of people fear failure?
Conditioning and also the way that we view. I think the way that we view, because if you look at her, for example, her perspective of fail, it was good. It was like, oh
Mm.
yeah, actually, like failing is like, oh yeah, I did something good. So it's, you know what I mean? It's like,
Mm.
as opposed to like growing up, for example, like I grew up where like at the end of the trimester, every time it's like you're premier, like first of the class, second of the class, last of the class. That was a big deal, right? So if you last of the class, you have shame. You
Mm.
have, you know what I mean? It's like, I think it's perspective. It's like the way that we look at it, right? But it can be shifted. Like,
Yeah, so from what I understand when fr from you and your
yeah,
mindset or your
yeah,
point of view is like almost everything depends on how you view it.
I think so.
Okay. And and that's it. I mean,
And taking action
yeah, yeah.
and moving from that
Yeah,
perspective.
but you
Yeah,
can take action, but if your point of view is like really
yeah,
negative, I mean,
yeah.
you're
Then your energy is, yeah, yeah. I really look at, for me, in my mind, I look at everything from the perspective of energy. Our mind moves like energy. Our actions move energy, right? So it is also possible. Like I feel like I'm going to contradict myself here.
yeah, no, what?
It is possible to really still take action and create, even though a part of us believe otherwise.
Mm.
Depends on like where is the intensity of energy going, where is do you understand what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm focusing on bad people, on challenges, on
yeah,
problem, on past experiences, blah blah
yeah,
blah. But I'm really creative.
yeah.
Okay.
You're taking action, you're making moves. Yeah,
Yes, but all day long I'm thinking about problems, But I'm really creative, and I'm taking action.
it depends on like how much intensity of energy, like
Mm.
how, like what's the intention, like the intensity of like which one is winning? Is the
Mm.
intensity of the action winning, or is the intensity of
Really
the,
interesting.
yeah, I think so.
So I can create a lot of good stuff, but maybe I will feel tired
Yes, yeah,
and
heavy.
heavy, yeah.
Yes, heavy. Yeah.
And it will be longer and
Yeah,
yeah.
possibly. Yeah,
Okay, interesting.
yeah, possibly.